taught them how to make swords, taught them how to make knives, taught them how to make battle axes, all instruments and weapons of war, arrows, clubs, all of that stuff right there. That was some of the things he taught them. Then he taught them metallurgy or alchemy, the working of metals. That's heavy in masonry too. A lot of masons are alchemists. They just don't tell you about it. And all alchemy is you can take regular metals, like raw metals and stuff like that, and you can turn them into gold. You see what I'm saying? Magic. Pretty much. Wickedness. And the working of bracelets and ornaments and the use of autonomy. So he taught them, you know what I'm saying, how to make, bracelets out of metal, your gold jewelry. Not everybody want to walk around with the big dookie ropes, you know what I'm saying, and big earrings. That's what was taught right there. So when you see all of these rappers, all of these monkeys walking around on stage, you see these fools walking around with all of this gold, and they're killing these children, in these gold mines, and they're killing these children over these blood diamonds. Now you see where it originated from. And the same thing was going on back in the day. You see what I'm saying? The same thing that was going on in the back of the day is the same thing that's going on now. You see? Ain't nothing different. Scripture say ain't nothing new under the sun. So you think what you think that you the first person to discover platinum? Oh man, they had platinum and gold and all of that stuff way before any rapper did. Right here in Scripture. And then the beautifying of the eyelids. So they were taught vanity. So they were taught vainness. You know what I'm saying? Sisters, brothers. You know what I'm saying? We spend all of our time in the barbershop and beauty shop. You know what I'm saying? Sisters getting their eyebrows arched. Brothers getting their eyebrows arched. You know what I'm saying? Sisters in the beauty shop perming their hair and doing all of this crazy stuff, man. You spend all of that time on frivolous things. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with just wearing your hair natural? Oh, my hair is too hard to manage. My hair is nappy and all of that. Did Yah or did Yah not curse us to work and to toil from the beginning, from the onset? Because of what? You want that forbidden knowledge. So don't blame Yah. Don't get mad because you got to do a little work with yourself. You know what I'm saying? You just want to go out the easy way and go, perm your hair and fix your eyes and all of that stuff. It's funny, somebody told me this a long time ago. It says, and, women walk around with fake eyes, contacts, fake nails, fake hair, implants, all of these different augmentations and mutilations of the body, and then they turn around and say they want a real man. I just thought that was particularly funny, man, because it's like it's true. And then you get these guys out here talking about they don't want no gold digger, but the first thing you do when you see a chick is you go out there fronting and counting your little money that you got in your pocket, or you walk around here with these $5 pants on and these $200 shoes, but you don't want a gold digger. You see what I'm saying? You riding around with your car on your rims and all of that stuff, with your music so loud. Don't tell me you just like your music loud. You're doing it to attract attention. That's why you do these things. That's why you wear, the expensive jeans. That's why you wear the expensive clothes, because you're attracting. You want to attract attention. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't sit there and tell that lie saying, well, I do it because I like it. No, you don't. Because like we said in the beginning, children don't know these things. You're born without this knowledge. You only know this knowledge. People teach you futility. People teach you this meaningless garbage. Like you gotta have a pair of Jordans. You were taught that. You never liked that. You were taught to perm your hair because your hair was nappy. You were taught to put those contacts in your eyes because you were ashamed of your eye color. You were taught all of that garbage. So don't tell that lie saying that you do it just because you like it. You do it because of a feeling of inferiority. That's why you do it. Because what's being shown on TV, they show you that straight hair is good hair. They show you that light skin is good. They show you that, that big lips is ugly. They show you that a big broad nose is ugly. You know what? That's a sin, because you're going against how Yah created you. You saying that Yah didn't create you perfect. And you want to change yourself. Getting big breasts. And brothers going out getting penis enlargements. What type of foolishness is that? You see what I'm saying? But we've come so far, we've strayed so far from the truth that we don't even know that up is down and left is right now. We don't know that the world is backwards. We don't know that this world was given into the hands of Satan. That's why rapists and killers and murderers are walking around right now. We don't know that. And then you go to this phony synagogue of Satan, i.e. the church, or i.e. the Jewish synagogue. You know what I'm saying? You go to these places of worship. It's so funny. If churches and all of these religions was really doing good, you know what I'm saying? Why you have churches in the community where half the people don't even live in that community, and you got a wino sleeping right out in front of the church, but you won't open up the food pantry to give them no food? What type of wickedness is that, man? We live in a place where, in this country, they're more worried about little 14 and 15-year-old Afghan girls who are married, you know what I'm saying, to husbands having children, than you, Hebrew woman, who is 13 and 14-year-old having premarital sex. So you're fornicating. And you getting out here pregnant at 13, 14 years. They don't even care about you. They going over halfway across the world trying to fight for Afghanistan and all these other third world countries fighting for the rights of those little girls. And they don't even care about you, Hebrew woman. How does that make you feel? But the people who do care about you, Yah's people who care about you, you shun them. I'm sorry for getting off on the rant, y'all, but it's just, I get passionate about this because this is what we do. This is our truth. You know what I'm saying? I'm proud of this. I'm proud of my hair. I'm proud of this heritage, this Hebrew heritage. And if you're not proud of it, then I pray Yah increases your understanding. But now, getting back to that whole vanity thing, verse 2. And there arose much unholiness, and they committed fornication, because they were taught birth control. And I'm going to read here in chapter 69, they were taught abortion, how to smite the embryo. But we're going to read that in a minute. For all you Planned Parenthood people, how in the world you going to plan a parenthood? You know what I'm saying? How you going to plan anything without Yah, first and foremost, let alone a doggone parenthood? That in itself is an oxymoron. And y'all President Barack Obama is a big proponent of Planned Parenthood. That man's anti-Yah. He's so anti-Yah, it don't make any sense. But anyway, we're going to get on him in the second part of this lesson. And they committed fornication, and they were led astray, and they became corrupt in all their ways. Verse 3, and Semyaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Wudan and voodoo sound like to me. And Armoros taught the resolving of enchantments. So you got one dude telling you how to cast a spell, and you got another guy telling you how to resolve that spell. And Barakael taught astrology. So there you go right there. Now you putting, oh, that's Scorpio right there. I'm a Scorpion. I was born under the astrological sign of Scorpio. No, you're not, fool. No, you're not. You are not. There is no such thing, and that does not make any sense. And if you're doing that stuff, oh, I got to read my horoscope. That's what they're talking about right here. That's the wrongness about it. How you going to tell somebody future just by how the stars is lining up? That ain't right. And it's anti-Yah. This is cut and dry as that, brothers and sisters. Hey. But hey, let's keep on. Kokibel taught the constellations. Ezekiel taught the knowledge of clouds. And so that's basically like meteorology and things like that, you know, how to tell the weather and stuff like that. Forecasting. A lot of farmers have what they call a farmer's almanac. That's what that falls under right there, meteorology and studying various weather patterns and things like that, you know, throughout the seasons. And Arachiel, the signs of the earth. That's geology. And Shamsiel, the signs of the sun, you know, solar and lunar precessions. And Suriel taught the courses of the moon, so you got solar and lunar precessions right there. Oh, that's a new moon. Oh, okay, this is the lunar eclipse. Oh, okay, this is this. The gods must be doing that. The gods must not be pleased. It's a solar eclipse. See where I'm going with this? There's nothing wrong with appreciating nature as long as you know that it's a creation of Yah, and that Yah put angels and Malachim in charge of these things. It's when you start associating with these specific gods, like you got the god of war, you got the god of love, you got Mercury, the messenger of the gods, you got Jupiter, you got Saturn, all of these different gods. It's when you start doing that and you start giving reverence or praise to these gods, that's when it becomes wrong. Verse 4. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up to heaven. So now, I was telling you that about that abortion thing, and how abortion is just a sin, but to back it up, let's always back it up with Scripture. Let's now jump to chapter 69, and let's go to, we'll do verses 4. Actually, you know what? Yeah, we'll start at chapter 4, and we'll go from verses 4 through 12. And again, this is the book of Enoch, chapter 69, verses 4 through 12. We just got done reading the book of Enoch, chapters 6, 7, and 8. We were establishing who the gods were. Now we have the origin of the gods. Those are the watchers. You know, those are the ones who have come down. And, you know, man, the lust for these women was so strong, they came down out of heaven. They forfeited their spot in heaven to come down and satisfy a fleshly desire. That's all lust is. You're craving the flesh. You know, that's all lust is. And that's why we as Hebrew men and Hebrew women, we have to conquer that fleshly desire. We have to be on the spiritual. And interestingly enough, the Egyptians have something, and the Greeks and Romans have it too, I believe. It's something called the Sphinx. And now what this Sphinx is, it has the body of a lion, but it has the head of a man. You know, the pharaoh with his little priestly garb or whatever it is on there. And what that symbolizes is the animalistic part. You know, the body of the lion is symbolic of your animalistic nature. You know, the desires of the flesh, so to speak. You know, you want to eat too much or want to have sex or, you know, whatever it is that, you know, your flesh desires or drinking. Now, the head of the god or the pharaoh, which is what you're prescribing to be, what you're trying to be, is, you know, the head of the man. That symbolizes you overcoming or suppressing that animalistic desire and you arising to a higher conscious. That's what that animal is symbolic of. It's interesting that they have that there, you know. But as we saw, you know, when you crossbreed and you mixing stuff like that, man, it's a sin, because y'all said don't mix animal and human. So you don't need any half animals, half men running around. But anyway, this is Enoch chapter 69, verses 4. And the name of the first was Yaquan, or Jaquan. That is, the one who led astray all the sons of Yah, and brought them down to earth, and led them astray through the daughters of men. Led them astray to the daughters of men, I should say. Verse 5. And the second was named Asbael. He imparted the holy sons of Yah of evil counsel, and led them astray, so that they defiled their bodies with the daughters of men. And the third was named Gadriel. It is he who showed the children of man the blows of death. So here we go right here. This could be the advent or the invent of martial science, martial arts. You know, the different death blows and things like that, fighting, so to speak. And he led astray Hawa, and showed the weapons of death to the sons of man, the shield and the coat of meal. Now what the coat of meal is, if you guys are familiar with like the Knights of the Crusade, they look like chains wrapped together, a series of like chains. That's what that is. So armament, basically. And the swords for battle, and all the weapons of death to the children of men. Again, so you got another God here teaching people war making. Verse 7. And from his hand they proceeded against those who dwell on the earth from that day and forevermore. And we still got war going on to this day. Verse 8. And the fourth was named Penumiel, and he taught the children of men the bitter and sweet, and he taught them all the secrets of their wisdom. Verse 9. And he instructed mankind in writing with ink and paper, and thereby men sinned from eternity to eternity until this day. Now check this out right here. Verses 10 and verses 11 are kind of deep, because this goes back to what Adam was saying after the fall, when he was given his apocalypse or his revelation to his son Seth. Now, verse 10, it says, For men were not created for such a purpose, but to give confirmation. For men were not created for such a purpose, to give confirmation to their good faith with pen and ink. See what I'm saying? We weren't here to be writing all of this foolish stuff, all of these, making scary books and that's frivolous. That stuff's wasting your time. Romance novels and all of that stuff. We weren't originally put here for all of this futile stuff that we as men and women do today. We weren't put here to get a job at a Fortune 500 company and go work for IBM and or flip burgers at McDonald's. We were put here. I'm going to read it right here. For men were created exactly like Malachim, or like angels, to the intent that they should continue pure and righteous, and death, which destroys everything, could not have taken them. But through their knowledge, the pursuit of that fallen angel, that forbidden knowledge, this power... But through their knowledge, they are perishing, and through this power, it is consuming me. So I'm going to read that one more time, because that's real deep right there, what he's saying. He's saying people weren't put here to do all of this frivolous stuff. Brothers and sisters, you wasn't put here to be no superstar. You wasn't put here to be like Young Jeezy and 50 Cent and all them people, man. 50 Cent and them wasn't even put here to do that. We weren't put here to be Hollywood movie stars and to be the richest man in the earth and all of that stuff. We weren't put here to do that. This Enoch is explaining what we were originally here for, and what Adam was saying in his apocalypse to his son Seth. This is, again, further verifying Scripture. It says, For men, this is verse 10 again. For men were not created for such